It's a 45-yard attempt officially. For the tie, Gostkowski! No good! The Steelers are going to hold on against the Titans.
Let me get your thoughts as far as Devin Bush. What do you think is as far as with their performance, especially with Robert Spillane? Like he came in there. I mean, he laid the wood a few times. I mean, he stopped Derrick Henry right there at the goal line on one play. I know he left the game with a shoulder injury, by my understanding. But Mike Tomlin said during his press conference yesterday that he looks like he's fine. He's going to be back. So I know, last week we actually spoke about it, and we talked, whether Robert Worthy was actually going to be the answer, or whether we needed to, potentially try and shop around or look in free agency to pick someone up. And we had that big game on Sunday. So, like, what's your thoughts now? How do you think the defense is performing out here without Devin Bush? Do you think they're headed in the right direction, or do you think the Steelers would be wise to look to get some additional help?
Well, Robert Stonewall Spillane, he sent the message. He sent the message to the entire league when he hit Derrick Henry. And if you go back to the Cleveland game, he also got Kareem Hunt on the play. So he's a big time hitter. I don't know how he's going to hold up with his playing style. He only 230 pounds. And when you throw your body around like that, you seen he hurt his shoulder. But as long as he's in there and healthy, I think that the defense is okay because Vince Williams is playing great football. Vince Williams is playing like a Pro Bowler this year. But but if one of those two guys go down, who do you have behind them? So the Pittsburgh Steelers look like they're very thin at middle linebacker. So it would be kind of smart for them to get an insurance policy to bring in just in case, Vince Williams or, Stonewall Spillane goes down or gets hurt.
And any thoughts as to, who potentially would be, a target for the Steelers? I believe, what's his name? Tuzar Skipper. I believe he's been, an option before in the past. I'm not sure if he signed to another team. I know he was here, with the Steelers at the beginning of the season, but he didn't make the 53-man roster, and he's not on the practice squad now. Do you think he would be, someone that, the Steelers should, keep an eye on, or do you think someone else may be available out there?
There's probably, you may even have to look into a trade. But I'm gonna look into it this week and see what's available. Obviously, the Pittsburgh Steelers are not looking at anybody this week, but the trade deadline is next week. So if they're going to make a move, it has to be before the middle of next week.
And I think I heard Dallas. I think all the players are available. For them with the record that they're starting off with now. What was it? Everson Griffin. He's gone now, right?
Is that right? No, I didn't hear anything. He's gone?
Yeah.
Wow.
I think maybe Banger might know when he jumps on here.
Okay.
I can't remember what team it was he got traded to. I don't believe it was Baltimore.
How about what you think of that shot on Andy Dalton?
You know what?
Dalton steps up, he tucks it and runs and slides and gets hit by Bostic.
He's waiting to the last minute to slide down.
Uh-huh.
So it kind of kicks back to what we were talking about as far as with the one play with Tuitt that he laid on Tannehill, where he said that potentially could be roughing the passer.
Uh-huh.
I think that the league isn't doing a good job pertaining to telling the players what is allowed and what's not allowed.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of like some things are allowed one moment and then they're not allowed in the next. and also with specific players as well. Like, you could see Ben and he could take a shot, and they'll basically call roughing. They won't call roughing the pass or anything like that. But then you'll have someone else, another quarterback that may take the same shot, and they're trying to damn near eject the player out the game.
Right.
If it's like a Brady or Aaron Rodgers or someone like that. If they take some of these shots, like if that was Tom Brady taking that shot from Tuitt Sunday, yeah, Tuitt's probably going to get a personal foul. But because it's Tannehill, like they're just, what I mean, they're just all over the place. They're not going to call it. But it's the same way for Ben too. Yeah. But we were just touching base on the Steelers defense as far as how they look without Devin Bush this past week, man. Spillane. He came out there, man. He was laying the wood. He stopped Derrick Henry on a real big pivotal down there in the red zone. We were just wondering, actually the question was being asked, should the Steelers, feel comfortable with, who they have on the roster right now? Or should they look to, strengthen up that area of the defense a little bit more? Jim, he was saying
what do you think's happening with Cam Sutton? Because I mean, I don't want to make any speculation, but like he stopped following the team. So right.
Yeah.
Now what? So what was it? Because I know he did play on Sunday, right? But I think Will Allen didn't play, right?
3rd and 15.
Oh, Marcus Allen.
Yeah, Marcus Allen played on special. He played on special teams. Marcus Allen.
Okay, because I thought he was supposed to be coming in on nickel downs.
Yeah, I don't know. Like I said, I don't want to speculate, but everybody else is speculating because he just posted some cryptic stuff on Instagram and Twitter and unfollowed the team. So like,
Oh wow!
He said, stay tuned. In the peace sign emoji. So I don't know what that means.
Wow. Wow. I mean, he had an interception, so.
So I mean, but the thing is though, but you got to understand that if they are making that move, he's a piece that you can actually get something for.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying. So it's like he has value, and that's playing it really close. But that shows the confidence they have in like Marcus Allen.
Yeah,
that's what it's showing you. Like, you know what I'm saying.
And not only him, but also Justin Lane as well. Because I've seen he's out there, and that was the key piece. Because if we go down a cornerback, usually it would be Sutton that would be stepping in, to play defensive back outside of the nickel with Hilton being there. So I think that's probably what you just saying that. I'm thinking they're looking at Justin Lane saying, okay, look, he's going to be that replacement for Sutton. And,
because the thing is, just going back to even the reason for them doing that is like what you said with the middle linebacker situation. Like, all right, I like Spillane on the run, but the problem with that, we all know, is quarterbacks are going to be like, oh shit, he's in, pass. You know what I'm saying? It's that simple. So it's like, so there's a limit to what you can do with that. So I think if Cam gets traded, then that answers our question right there. How they feel.
Now, as far as anyone out there that you could think of that could use someone to boost their secondary that has someone there at the middle linebacker position or on a defensive player that you think would be good, a good trading partner, who do you think would be out there? I know me and Jim, we were just talking about now. I think Dallas, they're starting to look like they're starting to part ways with a few players. I think Everson Griffin. Do you know what team he got traded to? I know he got traded to.
I don't know. I don't know. You know what? To be honest with you, I'm not even really aware of what the situations are where other linebackers are looking to lead teams. But I trust our front office. You gotta figure like this, right? They must have their eyes on somebody. If this is all speculation, if they are making this move, I don't think they're making this move blindly. Why would you give up a something you know is good with on just I guess? So if they are making that move, then they got their eyes on somebody, and I trust our. You know what, man? Like we don't do a lot of these situations, but the last few we did. Think about who they were, Minka. Fucking excuse my language, Joe Hayden. You know what I'm saying? Like we don't do it often, but when we do it,
somebody big.
Man, there've been a few. Well, we had Anquan Bolden. That was whatever. But that don't really count. There was a few. You know what I'm saying? But when we do, so they got their eyes on somebody, bro, and everybody wants to be a Stiller. So I can't even imagine. They got a nice pool to pick from.
Yeah, because now that you're saying that. That's kicking me back to the whole Juju situation because he got a lot of value, and I'm hearing now that he may be an option. He may be a trading option.
I'd be surprised because Ben loves Juju.
Yeah,
you think so?
He just had what do you have like 9 connections last week?
Yeah.
Like nah, bro.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah. That's Ben's boy. Like you said, that's Ben's boy. Ben's spreading the ball around, bro, and that's why I'm so glad Juju even had a game like that last weekend, just to kind of reemphasize that, like, no, bro, like, because you gotta look at even when he's not been catching the ball, his production on the field, period, bro, he's blocking, picking up fumbles, whatever. Like he's playing football. He's playing.
No, trust. And see, I think it kicks back to our discussion that we had last week here, man. We're not talking about Juju and his performances as far as him being a player on the field, a solid player in the locker room. We're talking about the numbers that he's actually producing, and if the Steelers are actually going to re-sign him for whatever it is that he wants. If they don't think that they're going to be able to re-sign him,
if you're saying like numbers he's producing so Ben's spreading the ball out evenly, right?
Mm-hmm.
Out of this even spreading so far, he's got the lion's share. Like not the like lion's share substantially, but if you're like 6 targets the first game, 6 receptions the first game, 5 receptions a game or so after that, 9 this time. Nobody else's numbers match up to that. Ben's spreading the ball around, so it's like I kind of feel like it's a non-existent scenario. You understand what I'm saying? Like I think we're using like these parameters, like we're creating a scenario that doesn't even exist, bro. Like I don't know exactly what his reception numbers are, but I'm pretty sure they're higher than Chase Claypool's because Chase hasn't had like an outstanding amount of targets. Neither has the only one who'd be close to him would be Deontay,
yeah.
That's it. So it's like to be like, oh, Juju's not putting up numbers. Well, who is? Ben spreading the ball around.
3 minutes to go in the first.
Ebron got a lot last week.
Puts it up.
Ebron, you know what I mean? Like he's playing with him too. So expect to see him. That's what he got. You know what I mean? So expect to see Ebron because he's going to be on the opposite side of the field. Chase Claypool is going to have 2 deep threats, and watch, he's going to use them. They're going to be all over Chase. They're going to go right to Ebron. They're going to get out of Ebron. It's going to go right to Juju. It's going to rotate whoever's open. So I don't think like this season, bro. We got to we're 6-0 right now. You got to really think about that and think about the wave everybody's on. And I don't think that scenario that you're playing that you're thinking about even exists right now. I really don't.
But let me ask you this, and you may be able to chime in on this also, Jim. If it's a situation where Juju is pretty much in the final year of his rookie deal, right?
Right.
This is his last year. Okay, so if it's a situation where they're not going to franchise him after this season, or they're not going to sign him, that's the only thing that they can do is to try and trade him and get some type of value. Because we know that Juju's not going to be franchise tagged next season. So that's going to be eliminated out of the situation. So it's a situation right now where the Steelers are either going to have to sign him, or if they don't sign him, now's the time when you start looking at his value to see what it is that you can get. And there are certain pieces that the Steelers could use if they were able to trade Juju. So don't get me wrong, I love Juju. I'd love for him to stay, But I'm just wondering, what are the Steelers going to do?
Well, the Steelers are going to want to sell tickets on game day. Right. That's another thing. They want to sell them fucking tickets. And, bro, who is Juju? Is the star of the team.
Third down,
Ben, I mean, yeah, Ben, but it's Juju's the star of the team. That's number 19 jerseys everywhere you look. When Aaron Rodgers, that Green Bay Packers game, was that 3 years ago when he got hurt? Like the day before he got hurt, right? Tickets were $300-$400. He gets hurt, tickets drop down to $30. That's how much I paid to get it on game day because he got hurt. What I'm saying by that is, bro, is those type of players have values in different. So he brings value to the team, brings value to the locker room, brings value to production, and brings value to the business of sales. He has value. So yeah, they're negotiating right now because he knows he has value. If he didn't have value, they wouldn't be in this negotiation that they're currently in right now. So right now they're currently negotiating. You know what I'm saying? He knows he has value. They know he has value, and their lawyers are arguing with each other. That's what it is. So it's
how much value? Like I could understand the point that you're. No, I could understand the point that you're making. Like I said again, if he's on a franchise that needed him to sell tickets, like
the Steelers
Jacksonville
need him to sell
or something
tickets,
like
bro.
that. The Steelers are a franchise that are going to sell tickets based off of their name. They're the Steelers. They've already proven that they're bigger than just any one player.
Let me tell you
That's
something,
why
man.
Antonio's gone, right?
Yeah, listen, let me tell you something, man. Listen, no. Listen, when Antonio left, we had stars in the team still. It was he didn't leave an empty house, right? Like, bro, this is still a bit. No matter how much of a Steeler purist you are, listen, bro, listen to something. No matter how much of a Steeler purist you are, and you have this religious fervor or about the Steelers, right? There's still a stadium full of 10-year-old kids who haven't even developed that far yet. All they know is this is my TikTok guy who's lit, and I love him, and he always scores, and does my favorite dance. And mom and dad better take me, and they better buy his jersey, and that's part of the factor. If you don't understand that, then you don't understand business. And football is a business. It happens to be that's done through sport. It is a sports business. You know what I'm saying? So there's a lot of factors, and he has value. To think he doesn't is ludicrous.
Let me ask this question though: has there ever been, players that have had value, that teams have decided to go in a different direction?
No. Name one, bro. We keep them all. We keep all our big dogs. Hines Ward, we keep them. Heath Miller, we keep them. Brett Kiesel, we keep them. James Harrison, we watched them and got them back, bro. No, we don't. Not until they're out to pasture. And you know that. Everybody knows that.
I think the only player I can remember that the Steelers got rid of that went on to have a Hall of Fame career elsewhere as well was Rod Woodson, and that was a surprise. And that was mainly because of his knee injury. They didn't think he could play corner anymore, and they didn't know. They didn't know he could make that transition to free safety. But that's the only one I can remember.
Right, and then with him, he still played out the majority of his career here. So it wasn't like he was 23 leaving the team, 24 leaving the team. Like that's ridiculous. Like we're gonna spend all this time grooming him, and no, bro, that's not. Like one thing with Pittsburgh, we're consistent. We have a consistent. That's what makes us different from other teams. We're not playing musical chairs with key pieces every season. You know what I'm saying? So all this trade him for him. Nah, bro, we're not doing that. We're not doing that. Like I said, we don't even do trades like that. Think about it, Minka and Joe Hayden. Besides that, but we're not in the.
But how many times have they been in a position like this though, where you have a limited salary cap and you have star players that everybody would love to see stay, and they can't keep everyone? Because Connor's been balling out here too. If he keeps it up the way that he's going to be a Pro Bowl back at the end of this year. So
what's the longevity of a running back, and what's the longevity of a wide receiver career wise?
Okay, so
if you're gonna put your franchise, all these factors we're talking about, right? Are you gonna focus on your running back who has at maximum 4 years left? And that's the nature of the position, right? Or you got a wide receiver who conceivably has about 8 to 10 years ahead of him of high production, as most wide receivers do. Come on, man. So you gotta think about that shit.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. You bring up a valid point, but I mean, time will only tell. We'll see how everything develops in that situation. Because, like I said again, you got a lot of star players out here that are balling right now.
Yeah, but
And
it's
I'm
like,
just thinking at the end of this year, man, Watt is going to break the bank. He's going to
yeah,
break the bank. He's one
yeah.
of the
I mean,
locks.
yeah. There's a lot of them, and then you gotta remember something too, man. We got a lot of old players, not a lot. We got some older guys that are getting ready. They're gonna be leaving soon.
Yeah.
Like
Mm-hmm.
Cam Hayward is not gonna be here forever.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like what's he in the he came in 2012.
He's
But
31. He's
he just
31.
renewed. He just re-upped though. Didn't
Yeah,
he just signed a deal for
right.
what was it? 4 years?
Yeah, 4 or 5
Yeah, I think.
years.
Yeah, I think it was about 4 or 5 years. So he's re-ing up. But the
You know what
biggest
I'm saying?
thing, like I
How
said
old was Brett
again,
Keys when he retired? Because me and Russ the same age. How old was he when he retired? He retired in like what, 2013, 14? 14, right? After 14?
uh, yeah, I think it was 2014.
So yeah, you figure you make it to about 34, 35 at that position.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? And
yeah.
then,
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
that's a high contact position too. So, but like I said, there's a lot of stuff going on, man. So I don't know, man. We'll see. But Juju, I don't think Juju is the one that is in the sights. Like he's not. Like people were tripping off of last year. Always remember his numbers were the exact same. Matter of fact, a little bit better than, if I'm not mistaken, than Antonio Brown's when he was in a similar situation, and he played less games than Antonio that year. Ben was out for him. Ben
Okay.
was out for him. It was a bad season. You know what I'm saying? Keep in mind, Juju didn't only play what, 9 games. So it's like
Yeah, last year. Mm-hmm.
all this like the team's done with him and ready to get rid of him. I'm like, nah, I don't believe that for 1 minute. I don't believe that for 1 minute. Not at all. Not at all. Nor do I think that's even. I don't even think anybody on that team that's smart enough to be in that position would even think like that.
Yeah.
To make the, you know what I'm saying? Because they're gonna look at everything else like, man, like nah. Like they know why he had an off season and he was injured. So and you look at his production now and he's been shitting on him. So why would they be mad at him? Why would they want to trade him? He's doing great.
Yeah. Your thoughts on the situation there, Jim?
Well, from a business standpoint, when you got an overabundance of talent in one area, I think the Steelers got the best group of wide receivers in the National Football League. So, from a business standpoint, from a football standpoint, it would make sense to trade somebody that got some great value, that can bring you great value, like a Juju. But like Banger said, the most popular Steeler to Ben's kids is Juju. All the kids love him. He connects with the fans on social media. He's been a face of the Pittsburgh Steelers and dancing and whatnot. So I don't think the Pittsburgh Steelers would trade him. But I'm the type of person. I'm like you. It's like if he's going to be gone next year, I'd rather get something for him while I can than see him walk out the door and I get nothing for him. But
Yeah, and do you think they have some type of an idea? Like I'm pretty sure that Juju is confident that he has some type of a number that he's actually looking for that the Steelers have to be, aware of. And this season is going to be predicated, off of his production, whether he's going to, deserve that number that he's asking for or not, right?
well, he got the same idea that Le'Veon Bell had, but the Pittsburgh Steelers got a ceiling that they're going to pay. I'm sure Juju, some of these receivers, is getting $17 million and up, and I
Yes.
think that's what Juju would want. Whether the Pittsburgh Steelers is willing to go that high or not, we're going to find out real soon.
Yes. Yes.
That's the thing
Yes.
too, man. It was so funny. He brought like Odell Beckham James to the
Yeah,
Giants, right?
yeah,
And even to the Browns, right? Like the value he brings to those franchises. I'm not like he made me aware of 2 franchises that I never would have paid attention to.
right.
Literally. Because like even with the Browns, besides Baker Mayfield, there's nobody else. Yeah, they're good, but I'm not paying attention to them. Odell, you pay attention to. That's who Juju is for the Steelers. He's
And
somebody that
Banger,
just captures your attention.
And Banger, look how often the Cleveland Browns is on national TV because of Odell Beckham.
The
You
Odell.
know,
Right.
yeah,
Look how like he said, Jim. He's the face of the Steelers, just like
yeah,
Odell is the face of the team he's on.
yeah,
And it's like, man, that's a lot to get rid of. And then when you look at the talent, it's like, okay, you gotta keep in mind, man. When you say that we got these talented receivers, there's guys on the pecking order that have value that are
Yeah,
lower. You know what I'm saying? Like I
yeah,
don't want to take anything away from them, but look at what's his face, Ray McLeod. Like
yeah.
yeah, yeah.
he's putting up his production is great.
Mm-hmm.
I think they would get rid of Deontay before Juju, to be honest. And I like
You
Deontay a
think?
lot. Just because Deontay's not proven. That's the thing
And
you
he
gotta
gets hurt.
understand, man. Like right, you don't know what his right he's got. You don't know what his durability's like. You don't know like what his consistency's like. With Juju, you know what you got. With Deontay, it's still like, okay, he's good right now. Let's see how he is
Mm,
the following. You know what I mean? Because that's how it
Mm-hmm.
goes.
yeah,
So
yeah.
so that's like I'm saying, and Juju's half Samoan, man. Like he don't get hurt like that. Like, who's making that up, man? Like, come on, man.
And you know what? I feel exactly what you're saying there, Banger, because I mean, like, as far as with his production on the field, as far as with him doing everything, he's a freaking monster out there. Like when I saw him on Sunday and he caught the one pass and he got that he got hit and it was like that helicopter spin
Yeah,
where some players will lose control of that ball, but he held on to it and secured it, and I believe he moved the chains on that play as well. So Juju, he's definitely one of my team favorites. But like I said again, if I'm just looking at everything and I'm just factoring everything in, I'm just looking at like I just got a gut feeling that Watt's going to break the bank,
Yeah.
and there's only going to be a limited amount of resources that are going to be left, and I don't think that it's going to be enough for Juju and for James Conner. Probably, definitely for James Conner because all the points that you made are extremely valid. I mean, even if you look at James Conner's injury history, I believe, and I said this a long time ago that when people were making the comments and everything about what Le'Veon Bell was asking for during his contract situation. I said, well, let's wait and see, how James Conner is doing when it's his turn for him to ask for his money out of his rookie deal, and then we'll get an opportunity to see what it is. Because if he keeps balling like the way that he's balling, he should be asking for a big payday. And if the Steelers don't want to give it to him, then he needs to go in the best direction that's going to be best for himself and for his family, I would say. But like I said again, I think they're kind of doing everything that they can do to keep Watt. He's probably going to be the biggest piece after this season, probably outside of Ben, that the Steelers are going to be concerned about maintaining going in the future. In my personal opinion,
What you
and
what do you
think
that's
feel?
they
just the reason why.
What you think they're gonna do with Bud Dupree?
That's my question. That's my question.
I put it to you this way: it all depends on if Bud and Watt, if they can work something out, like they're best friends and they get along and everything. If they have a conversation and everything, and basically Bud say, "Hey, wait a minute, I want to stay, but you got to leave it a little bit of money for me," then maybe he may do that. But if Watt is trying to break that bank, he's getting AD money. He's getting Khalil Mack money. They're going to
Yeah,
have to pay that
yeah.
man, and there's going to be pieces that's going to fall off this chessboard, man. This is
Yeah,
chess. It's not checkers,
I know,
So
bro. Because they're saying they're making comments about TJ like best linebacker ever, Steeler linebacker ever. You know what I mean? When they start talking about you like that, your agent
yeah.
starts making
Yeah,
demands. Yeah.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
yeah. Oh yeah, like in the off season, get JJ.
And see
You
that's the
raise
whole
that
thing,
Derrick
man.
Henry.
It's like whether it be Connor or it be Juju or it's TJ or Bud, whoever, those agents get pay a percentage. So they want
Yes,
that payday to be as high as
Yeah,
possible. If they
yeah.
feel
yes.
like they can get they can get a bigger payday somewhere else, they try to do it. So it's like
Well,
fuck, man.
yeah. Well, I was going to say as far as with the agents, and Jim probably knows a little bit about this as well. It's actually cap pertaining to what they actually can receive. in each deal. It's only a certain percentage that they're actually able to receive. So
Right.
like basically it's
But
left up to the players pertaining to like what it is that they want to get,
yeah, but now you
So
guys, but isn't it? But doesn't it work that like they get a percentage of whatever you get? So the bigger your check is, the bigger their check is.
And they also get a percentage
yeah,
of your
Right. Right.
yeah,
So it's like, yeah.
commercials, your
So it's like,
endorsements,
bro,
all that.
if you get, so in other words, 20%. If they get, you get 1 million, they get 200,000. You get 20 million, they get 2 million. So the
yeah,
bigger your payday is, the bigger their payday is, and that's why
Mm,
yeah.
they're all.
yeah,
So they're screaming with the NFL. The players ain't even negotiating. It's the agent and the NFL negotiating. So
Mm-hmm.
like the
Mm-hmm.
personal stuff don't even like, you know what I mean? They don't really got nothing to do with it. I mean, it does if because you got the final say so. But at the end of the day, that money shit is between them. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? And they're of course they're trying to get the biggest payday, but the player ain't making the argument. That's his agent.
Yeah,
right.
yeah, and that's what I say. Like with some of these players, like with Dupree, with Juju, with Connor, they love it here in Pittsburgh, but it's going to be a business decision coming up here at the end of this year, especially if we keep producing, the way that we've been producing.
We need Dupree here, man.
We
It's just
do.
something about that tandem that reminds me of Kevin Green and Greg Lloyd, and
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
like,
yeah, yeah,
and I'm not
yeah,
even talking about visually. I'm talking about production wise. Like
yeah,
when's the last time we had two outside linebackers that were always meeting at the QB? Like every time you
wow,
see a
mm,
sack, that's not both of them. The other one's
yeah,
just one step behind. Like just
yeah,
been like, oh
yeah.
damn, I should have had him first. And it goes back and forth. Like because right now they're both tied for tackle for loss. They left
yeah,
Aaron Donald behind. It's a
yeah.
two-way tie. Like you
I
know what I'm
think
saying? So it's like
I think between this season and last season, they're just now starting to click. Like last season was the first spark, and this season it's
Minka.
like they're money this year, man.
Yeah, I mean,
They're
well, you
money this
understand.
year.
I mean, but like last season they didn't because last season they didn't they stopped having to drop back in the coverage because
Yeah,
we picked up Minka from Miami. So like you can never take that out. The Minka effect is always
yeah,
there. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying? Like they're not target. Yeah. So but yeah, that's what it is. Is we have a well-oiled machine right now. I don't want to remove any of the pieces. It's basically what I'm saying. Like we have a
yeah,
defense that's been meticulously put together by a defensive coach, Mike Tomlin.
yeah.
And he finally got the defense he wants. He got and I don't want to lose any pieces. And a major piece for me is Bud Dupree.
Mm,
Like,
mm.
and and
Well,
I,
it's going to
yeah,
be up
like
to Ben. If Ben comes back next season and he's willing to take somewhere around what Brady was, what he was taking when he was in New England, somewhere around 12, 15, maybe 20, then he'll leave a little bit of cap space. But if he comes back and he's doing what he's done for the past 3 years and he's taking 30 plus, you're not leaving any room for anyone else, man.
anyone
Ben,
else.
Ben,
Ben ain't taking under 30. Ben ain't taking under 30,
he's not taking under
man.
30. So
Ben.
so that's why I say like as far as in that situation, we already know that they brought in the rookie to potentially replace Dupree.
Yeah,
Um,
Highsmith. Highsmith,
Highsmith,
yeah.
he already looks like he's producing. Like I've seen him. He's been in their own place and things like that. So
But
I don't know if it's gonna.
so is Sackman Jones, so is Jarvis Jones, so is a
Yeah. Oh
couple
yeah.
so it's a
Yeah.
couple other,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
so it's like the thing is, bro, and then even with Bud, right? Bud had his nice rookie season, came in shining, and then he hit a little
Mm.
rough pass where like, but that was a lack of, that was our DB situation contributed to that a lot. But Bud was
Wait,
like
to
not
who?
looking like Bud, and then but
Dupree.
then here's the
Okay.
thing, right? We know from what we found with Bud is after being with him for so many years is that he went through a slump. He worked real hard in the off season. He's dedicated. He's focused. He got the best trainers and comes out and
Mhm.
handles fucking business. With Highsmith, we know he looks good right now,
Yeah.
but is he a replacement for a Bud Dupree? I don't know yet, bro. Like
Yeah. Yeah.
because time will tell. You know what I mean? He might be a flash in the dud. That happens a lot.
Well, here's the one thing you can't teach or coach: 6'5", 270, and 4'5", 40, and that's what Bud Dupree brings to the
Mm.
table. And he's never been hurt.
Yeah. Yeah.
Never.
That's
Yeah,
the biggest piece to I think the Steelers need to, seriously look at him, because like you said, he's out there on the field. He's never been hurt,
Yeah.
Man, listen,
so
what did we hold Derrick Henry to last week?
but I'm
67
I have to.
yards, 70 yards.
Uh,
Mm-hmm.
It was under. It was
I
bro.
know
It
it's
was.
under
It was.
100 yards.
It was under 80. It was
Uh,
under 80, bro. Like he's like I said, big boy, 6'5",
yeah,
267. Like, and runs a 4.5. They were doing the lineup of him and Derrick Henry. I'm like, Derrick Henry's like 0.2 of a second faster. Bud's like 30 pounds heavier and 3 inches taller. I'm riding with
Yeah.
Bud
mm.
on this one.
Right.
Like period. Like Derrick who? Like Ryan Clark said it best. He's like, man, he was like, if you notice, Derrick Henry has only stiff arm little dudes. He ain't stiff arm no backers, no linebackers. It's always was he's through that
He's
front
knows some
seven.
ugly stiff arms out there, though, man.
Yeah.
That one he put on Earl Thomas last year, that was one of the best, man.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh
Yeah,
man.
that turned into a million memes. Yeah, but it's like man, like I said though, as with Bud, bro, like he was a big factor in shutting that big man down, and
Yeah.
I just man, I just don't want to lose him. I really don't, man. But it comes down to that money, like you said.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's,
What was everyone's thoughts as far as with Ben Roethlisberger and his performance? Like, this was the first time in the season that he's actually turned the ball over. I believe he's had one interception, throughout the first 6 games. So now it's a situation where he's getting back to old Ben Roethlisberger football, where he's turning this ball over, and especially in the red zone, we still have those woes there. Let me kick it off there with you, Jim, because I know you got to jump off here in a second. What was your
Yeah.
thoughts as far as with his performance, and do you look to see him have a bounce back game next week against Baltimore? Like Tomlin said, man, we're in the kitchen now. The AFC
Well,
kitchen is hot.
well, that one before halftime, that was basically just a Hail Mary. I
Mm,
wish we would have went and got a field goal there, but that was a Hail
yes.
Mary. The other one, if you study Ben, number 55, Jayon Brown, had his back to Juju. And
Yeah.
Ben threw that pass many, many times, man. Matter of fact, Juju had his hands on the football, but Brown was able to make a great play because he was able to get with his back turn. He was able to slip a hand in between Juju's hand and the ball and knock it free. But that's the first thing Ben said. He's seen the linebacker with his back to him and figured he could get it into Juju. And
Mm.
so that almost cost us the game, man. Those
Yeah, now
interceptions
was
for
now
sure.
that was the one that he threw where the 4 defenders were around him, and he tried to spin it
Yeah.
into that window in the fourth. Okay, got
Yeah,
you.
and
Because
Juju, if you go back and watch, Juju got both hands on the ball, but
mm,
Brown, number 55, the linebacker, from UCLA, he was able to, get his left arm in between Juju's hands and the football and knocked it free, man, and
mm,
created that interception. So that was a good play. Back in the day, that'd have been face guarding. I guess
mm.
there ain't no face guarding in the NFL no
It,
more, but Ben made a living off of throwing the football back shoulder face or whatever. He sees a linebacker with his back to a wide receiver. He's going to put it up. In Baltimore this week, they got the best cornerbacks in the league. They put pressure on you defensively. They had a bye week. They had 2 weeks off. They're fired up to play. So
mm,
the one thing that's going to kill any team is turnover. So we got to secure the football. We got a tendency to fumble that ball, especially Deion Johnson. You got to
mm,
secure that football, and then got to cut out those interceptions.
So no problems on your end with Ben making that throw in the red zone during that time in the game.
No, I had a major problem with it, but that's just Ben. That's just Ben. There was three guys down there, man.
Yeah.
Ben's a gunslinger, man.
Gunslinger,
He's
right?
like Brett Favre, man. Yeah.
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 Yeah. What about you? What about you, Banger? I mean, were you comfortable with him, making that play, or did you have a problem? Did you have an issue with it?
I mean, I basically agree with Jim on that one. It's yeah, it's the same. He took a chance, and if it had worked out, he would have been a hero. But it didn't. So he got a couple, disgruntled people. That's how it goes.
Mm,
Ben's a gunslinger, like you said. But I'm not, this weekend. I think that coming up is always going to be a fight when you're in Baltimore, no matter what, no matter how good their team is. I think what's going to be key though for us, just motivationally, and which always influences play. This is Ben's first time playing Lamar Jackson. So it's like for him, he likes to, how he likes to do the AFC quarterback thing. These are all Ben's kids. You know what I'm saying?
Wait a minute. So Ben didn't start. Oh yeah, you're right. You're right. That was Mason.
Yeah, that was
Gotcha.
Mason. Yeah,
Mhm.
yep. Yeah, Mason and Duck. So yeah, so I think Ben's got something to prove this weekend. Just it's kind of like welcome to the AFC North.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I think that's what
Mhm.
we're going to see this weekend. It's a welcome to the AFC North moment for Lamar Jackson, and I hope that happens.
Okay. Okay. Well,
Yeah.
I'm definitely excited for this one, man. What they say, we're with the power rankings, we're ranked number one right now.
Number one
This is
defense. Oh,
gonna be a
number one
big
against the
matchup in it.
pass. Number one pass rush. Number one run defense.
On run
Like
defense,
it's
and we're
it's
going against a
it's
running team too. So we
right,
stopped Lamar before in the past. I
right,
don't see
right,
any
right.
reason why we shouldn't be able to stop him and contain him now.
I feel like, man. I feel like I think Vince Williams up the middle is going to be a problem. I really think he's going to be a problem on him. And yeah, I don't think
And
running's
he's been balling these past few games. Like
right,
Tomlin said, he hasn't came off the field. So even in third down situations, he was still out there. So I think
right,
with him playing as good as he's playing this season, that's what's making that Devin Bush injury. It's not impacting us that much.
right. Yeah, yeah. Vince definitely stepped it up. I think the other thing that's really helping us out with the Devin Bush injury is the fact that our DBs are really
Mm,
holding their, because that was, like I said, once again, you got to keep in mind that the real need for Devin Bush came when we needed that drop back linebacker, like a cover,
yeah, yeah,
to replace
yeah,
Azier. That was the whole thing because our backfield wasn't holding up. Now our backfield is solid, and
yeah.
you don't necessarily need your linebackers. You don't need them. That's why they're blitzing. You don't need them to drop back and cover no more. So I
Mm.
think that we got a strong enough team defensively that we can. I think we'll be all right.
Mm. And one thing that I saw on Sunday that was real interesting to me was this was probably the first time during the season that the Steelers became battle tested, coming down within the fourth quarter. What was it, like the last minute of the game? They're
Right.
driving down the field. We needed our defense to make a stop, and they came through and they made a stop. So
Uh huh.
that was real. That was real pivotal for us to get that. And I think that's going to actually help us, transitioning into this the second half of the season here coming up.
Right.
Especially like with Ben, with his playing style where he's going to turn the ball over sometimes. We need the defense to get us out of some situations, and we all know that they're going to put points up on the board. I mean, the league has it set up now where it's an offensive league. Like what we were just talking about as far as like with some of these hits with some of these players and some of the penalties that they call. It's an offensive league, so they're trying to keep a lot of these offensive players healthy and in the game.
Right.
So the defense, like from what I seen on Sunday with Tennessee coming back, there was a couple plays, a couple calls that went their way, but outside of that, I still think the Steelers they look strong out there, man. Like that was a dominant performance the first half. They were able to squeak it out, but hey, a victory is a victory, so we'll take it, and then coming up this week against Baltimore, man, it's just like you said, and we're able to, contain Lamar Jackson, and pretty much shut down the running game, I don't see us not being able to, leave out of Baltimore with a victory. And I heard Mark Ingram, I believe he's going to be out on Sunday as well. So I believe they're going to be going with what's his name, J.K. Dobbins. I believe
Okay.
he may be getting his first start, or maybe Edwards, I believe, may have been the backup behind him. So they have a couple people that are going to be down coming up this upcoming week. So it's going to be very, very interesting to see, how everything turns out, man. I'm just excited for it, man. I can't. The Steelers have never been uh, undefeated during my
Like, during your
lifetime.
lifetime. Yeah. Right.
Like, yeah, you know what I mean? Like, this is the first time. Like, I'm sure probably you as well. Like,
Yeah.
like, usually for us to be the only team in the league undefeated, it's just interesting, man. It's amazing. It's going to be
Yeah, the
a
only
sight to
one.
see.
Right.
Yeah,
Right. Right.
because
Right. Right.
we're the targets now. We got that dot on our chest where, these teams, they want to give us our first loss. So coming up this upcoming week against Baltimore, this is going to be, one of those weeks as well, because I know they're
They
probably
want
looking
to,
at
right?
it. Yeah, like, okay, yeah, you guys are at the top now. Look, we're going to try and beat you
You know
guys.
something
And
though, man. You know what,
mm,
man? Like, I'm gonna tell you, like, it's weird. Like, it feels like Cleveland felt the same way. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying? Like,
yeah,
and I think that everybody feels the same way. It's not gonna matter. Like to say, like to be honest, there was a time when everybody felt that way about New England, and it didn't matter how they felt.
yeah. When they went undefeated that one year, yeah,
Right. It
yeah,
didn't matter that every team said, "Hey, man, we're gonna be the ones to knock them off. We."
mm,
So what? As long as we got that mentality where we feel like that we're unstoppable, then it is what it is, and that's how I feel about the team right now. Like they did their mojo's up,
yeah,
their mojo's up in a
yeah,
big way, and
yeah,
that's 99% of the game right there. It's like if you're mentally winning and you're locked in, it tends to it tends to translate on the field. And because at the end of the day, bro, they're all studs. Every single person in the NFL is a star. You know what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah.
Like
Hmm.
every single one. It's about who wants to win the most on Sunday. And I feel like that
Yes.
right now we're a team that wants to win.
Yes, yes, and then I agree with what you just said. I think if the offense can just step it up, just play a little bit better and match the intensity of the defense. Oh man, because you see the flashes in the first half of both these past two games. First half, offense is there. They're putting points on the board. Defense is stopping them, getting them up out of there. And then it's just like the second half. I don't know if they're just coming out just a little bit flat, or just what. But well, actually, just this past game against Cleveland, they came out and actually dominated the second half. And that actually was one of the things that I brought up to Jim. There was Roethlisberger's interception at the end of the first
A
half.
different type of
We think
football
that may
here.
have given
Roethlisberger,
Tennessee a little bit of
shotgun.
momentum,
He
for them
launches.
to,
End
continue
zone.
going. Because I think it was
Intercepted.
what 24-20. Was it 24-7? Or was it
Yeah.
24?
Yeah,
Was
I'm
it
sure
24-3 or 24-7?
it was 24/7, I believe. And yeah, I'm
Yeah.
sure that shifted the momentum a little bit. But at the end of the day, we were able to squeeze out that win. That's all that
Yeah.
matters. Man. That's a W,
Y-
man.
Yeah, W is a W. That's what I say. So, you can't complain about a win, man. You can just take it how you take it. But, hopefully they'll be able to correct, some of these
Right.
mistakes and,
I
get it
don't. I don't
right for
feel
next
like
week.
so. Like you said, correcting mistakes. Like I don't feel like that those two interceptions that Ben threw were like defects. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't feel like it was signs of he's falling off or something. It was
Mm,
just two plays that happened. But missed a couple mistakes or whatever. He took a chance he shouldn't have taken, and that's easy to fix, especially when you're focused. So I think that this weekend, his main focus is going to be like Lamar Jackson's not going to beat me. Like,
Yeah.
man, you gotta think about this is what happens, bro. And this is like we're really think about Michael Jordan when he came to the NFL. I mean, when new players would come to the NBA, he would break their ankles or something. He would do something to except for Iverson, but every player would tell you played against Jordan when they came in and they're the number one draft pick and they played their first game against Jordan or Kobe. Like he smuck them and just let them know, like, hey man, like I'm about to shit on him real quick. And
like I'm Jordan on here.
it's bragging, it's alpha male shit. Like it's like you gotta figure like, all right, if Lamar Jackson comes in and beats Ben Roethlisberger, what they're gonna be able to say? Man, I beat all three of your quarterbacks. Don't think that doesn't mean something to them, bro.
Well, yeah, because what they beat.
Don't think that doesn't mean something there.
Yeah,
like, bro, like if anybody who I'm sure you got athletes in your family, your friends, whatever. Them are some of the most competitive dickheads on earth, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like really think about this shit. Like all my athlete friends, I don't play video games against them because they have no mercy.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like anything you play, cards, anything they're like so intense. Like it's not even fun for me. You know what I'm saying? Like that's what it takes to get to the NFL. The extreme focus, the extreme competitiveness, because you're literally beating out millions of people with the same dream as you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So for Ben Roethlisberger, like just to even be in that position, of course he's extremely competitive. Of course he is. They all are. You know what I'm saying? You think he wants to let Lamar Jackson whoop him? You think he wants to be his first time going against the elite Ben Roethlisberger? He beats him? Hell no. That's keeping him up right now. He's throwing the football right now.
Especially at home too. Because like with them being at home, they want to get that W out the way because it usually goes. It like for the past not recently because Cincinnati kind of fell off and Cleveland's been kind of out of the mix. But at least between Pittsburgh and Baltimore, we split our series yearly anyway. So it's kind of like they're going to be at home. They want to get that first win.
Right now the series is tied 23-23.
23-23.
It's the even split. Yeah. So this is going to be
big.
right.